All right. We're gonna talk about a topic that's been pissing me off, and because I'm a man who obviously, as we can see here, plays on both Series X, and as we can see there, has himself a pretty nice PC. I mean, it's got a 2080 Super, 16 gigs of RAM. I forgot the processor. I think it's an i5 3600X. So I mean, it's a good computer. But I see a lot, and it's a lot more than it needs to be. People on PC who bitch and moan about console aim assist. And they're always like, without your aim assist, you guys would suck. Without console aim assist, you couldn't have crossplay. Full stop. You can only have crossplay between consoles. You want to know why that's the case? Because there's not one. Okay, phrase that before it was an exaggeration. The skill ceiling it would take that it would be required to be that good without aim assist on console would be so ungodly high that only the man who is level 500 prestige 47 in Apex would be able to do it on a controller, because it would take that much time to really be able to learn that. It genuinely would. If you're talking and let's talk about the average person, okay? The average person, I would say I'm not the average person. I put Control Freaks on. This is more of a pro controller. It's a cheaper pro controller, but it's still a pro controller. Let's say the average person, they don't have paddles. They're just playing normally. They're holding it normally. They're holding it like this. They have these buttons. You don't have near the access to buttons holding a controller on a normal controller as you do a PC. Nor do you have it near as fast as strafes. That, like, even if you're doing it at a somewhat fast rate, is not near as fast as that. And let's go back to the main discussion of the argument, aim. It is so much easier to aim with a mouse. To anyone who thinks that it is not, you've either never played console gaming or you're a fucking idiot. That's simply it. I've played both. I've had my PC for a few years now, and I've played console my entire life. I literally played COD. I've played COD on my console since World at War. I've played it competitively, but a ton of multiplayer. I put 100 hours into all the games since BO3. In those games, the best I could ever muster on a controller was like a 0.8 KD. And that's not all admit, because I don't really care. It's COD. Who cares? It's COD. I was just screwing around with my boys. But this year for Modern Warfare 2 decided to plug in a PC and mouse, because my Xbox natively supports that, and it runs a lot better. Dude, I top frag lobbies with snipers. Why is that? It's not because this was overpowered to begin with. It's because this is so much astronomically easier to get so good with. The ceiling on both of these may be about the same. A good controller player could probably match up against a PC player with aim assist, obviously, and it would be a close matchup. But if you want to talk about what's easier to learn, dude, you could learn how to control the recoil of every single gun in, let's say, Apex Legends on mouse in maybe 5 hours. Like, if you spent 30 minutes with every gun on mouse, you basically got it, because it's so easy. And I'll use the analogy of golf. A lot of people don't play golf, but this is maybe something in all sports. When you do something over and over again, repeatable mechanics, you want to use all your big muscles, because it's much easier to repeat. So, like in golf, for example, like on a swing, I'm not using my fingers to try to move the club. I'm using my wrist, I'm using my shoulder, because it is much easier to repeat that action. Well, if we look on a controller here, I have to use my thumb. That's all the little muscles of my thumb are doing this. We look at a mouse, I'm using my shoulder, I'm using my wrist, and those are much bigger muscle groups. And even your wrist is, while it can be good to, your nice flicks, and it's still nice to practice, most of the time, I'm using my shoulder to, for the big muscle, because it's a big muscle group, it's much easier to repeat. Because it is just so much easier to aim on a mouse than it is with aim assist on a controller. Aim assist on a controller is not aimbot. All right, it's not like if you're tap wall jump strafing with fucking TTV Wraith Prestige skin, that the aim assist is going to automatically lock onto your head. It's really not. And not only that, in a game like Apex, aim isn't everything. There are other reasons you can die. You can die due to positioning. You can die simply because, I mean, there's also blind luck in Apex. Either I've played both. Trust me, I've played both. I mean, you can just be randomly getting shot by a dude, and then you can flick onto him, and then just hit your flinch. You hit all headshots. I mean, that's happens before. That happens on both of these. Like, that's not an aim assist thing. And hell, there are times aim assist fucks with you. Like, if an enemy's close to you and you're trying to ADS to get to him, it doesn't really work well sometimes. It still fucks up. All right? And I just saw a comment. It says some moron says it takes 4,000 hours on this shit. No, the fuck it doesn't. It takes 12. It takes a dozen. You spend a dozen hours on a mouse, you're automatically better than a controller player who has maybe 250 hours in the same game, aim-wise. Full stop. You know why I know that's true? Because it took me 12 hours in Apex on PC to get a 4K. I have played over 250 hours on console. My best damage game is 2,800. Why is that? Because, why? Huh? I've played controller my entire life. I mean, since the time I was literally a child, I had a controller in my hand. I spent a dozen hours on PC, and I got a badge that I yearned to get on console. Because it is so much effing fucking easier to aim with this thing. I love this thing. This thing is my baby. If I could use this in every game, I would, because it's literally a cheat code. People who think aim assist is a cheat code, no. A mouse is the biggest definition of a goddamn cheat code. It is like the fact that crossplay exists literally means that aim assist has to exist. Because if there wasn't aim assist, there couldn't be crossplay between Xbox servers and PC servers, because the PC servers would kick the shit out of Xbox. And let's not even go into the fact that if you're playing on pure console, that is as good as a Series X is. My PC blows that out of the fucking water. I can run 240 frames a second. I have a nice ass monitor. I have a 240 hertz monitor. I can run 120 max on the Xbox. I can run 240 on my computer. I have a lower response time. Like a click, that's lower response time than a trigger. Faster strafes, more buttons at the axis of my hands, all 5 fingers. Especially if you're using a base controller, not like this pro controller I have, because I'm above average. I go above and out of my way. So let's not take into consideration the pro controller. Just a normal ass controller, you don't have near the amount of buttons at your immediate axis as you do on a keyboard. I mean, you can move, strafe, you can move, crouch, jump, and run, all with like these fingers without very little movement. And then most mouses nowadays have a few buttons on the side. Mine has 3, plus the middle button does something. Like the argument that PC and mouse, or keyboard and mouse, is harder than controller is idiotic. Sure, it takes time to get used to this. I'm not gonna say it doesn't, but it takes time to get used to anything new. It took time to get used to your controller. We weren't all aim god. No one was just automatically woke up one day with a controller, was just an aim god. Just like no one woke up one day with a keyboard and mouse and was just automatically an aim god. But it takes way less time to get good on this shit than it does on a controller, because it's just not nearly as hard. I don't know why this bothers me as much as it does, but as a man who has put thousands and thousands of hours into both platforms, it drives me nuts to hear PC players moan and complain and bitch about fucking slight amounts of aim assist in games. It is an idiotic argument, and I don't know why it drives me nuts. But if it was the minority's thought, I would think maybe. But this seems to be a very large thought amongst a lot of PC players. And I know what? It seems to me like a lot of PC players are just salty bitches that they're getting killed in games. It's not aim assist the reason you're dying, you dumb fuck. Play better. Move around more. Break up his aim assist. Break line of sight. Peek better. Do shit to fucking make him miss shots. Aim assist isn't automatically just gonna have your ass on his head. Or his aim, same difference. Whatever the fuck I'm trying to. It's not automatically have his crosshair on your head the entire fucking time. Just because it has aim assist. No, it slows it down a little bit around the target. They're different, and that doesn't even excuse the fact that at a distance it doesn't kick in. Fucking, you try to control, go right now. Any PC player who genuinely fucking thinks it is harder to play on a keyboard and mouse than it is to play on a controller, go right now. If you're an Apex player, it's a free game. Go try to control the recoil of a flatline with a mouse for 1 hour. See how good you can get at it in 1 hour. Do the same shit on a controller. You can get pretty good on a controller. Not near as good as you can get it on this shit. Not only that, let's not even go into the fact that a PC has actual aim trainers, not like just the fucking firing range for Apex, an example, and bumfuck knows what for other games. Like, we have actual aim trainers. It is just the most idiotic argument I've ever heard in my life to think that this is harder than harder than this. It just simply is. And to anyone who genuinely believes that, I need you to take a long, deep look at yourself in the mirror and realize you need to go touch some fucking grass, because you are blaming shit that you're blaming shit on something that you're just bad. It's pure fact. There are just times in games you're just gonna die. To anybody. I don't know if I already said this in this video, but as I said, sometimes just random recon, you get popped in the fucking head. That happens here, that happens there. I mean, it's not aim assist, you know? It's not aim assist's fault that you die because you decided that you're Wraith and you're also sweating. You decided to run full squad, full guns blazing into a 1v2, and then you just get beamed by an R301. No. And then also sometimes just they're better than you. It's just, this argument just drives me nuts because it's just PC players just being salty bitches. All right, just accept the fact that your shit's easier. They for some reason can't. Just accept that it's fucking easier and be better. It's so much easier to be better. Just be better. That's it. If you were better, you wouldn't be bitching about it. Like fucking the top PC players, they don't bitch about aim assist. Why? Because they're better than them. Because it's easier to be fucking better. Just, God, it's an idiotic argument. Idiotic. And I waste 12 minutes of my life discussing why I think it's an idiotic argument. But all the PC players are just gonna be like, but aim assist is so overpowered. No one's Jesus Christ. No one's not. Never one. I mean, maybe I haven't played every FPS game. Maybe in some games it's been absolutely wildly overpowered. But in a game like Apex, which is I see one of the more discussed games for this topic, fucking they're salty bitches. Be better. It's easier to be better on this. Just accept the fact that you suck and get better. It's not hard. And that's my fucking rant for today. Because I gotta go fucking watch the Browns lose Saturday. And I'm gonna have to go fucking, I have to prepare that rant too. So this is my rant for the day. Don't say it is harder to aim on this than it is on that because they have some aim assist. If you say that, you're wrong. You were dropped on your head as a child and possibly abused like a redheaded stepchild, because that is just a fucking stupid statement. And I want you to realize that it's not console's aim assist. It is your own shitty ability at games. That's my fucking rant for today.